Well, hi, I'm Denise, and just wanted to welcome you again to our YouTube channel, Soaring Together. And in this video, share a conversation that we had with some of our followers. We were outside one afternoon this week, and Brad and Audrey from British Columbia stopped by to say hello. So we'll share some of that conversation, and all this is going to happen after the intro. We are Rickey and Denise. We sold everything in 2020 and hit the road to RV full time. We travel in our Freightliner M2 truck, pulling our DRV JX 450 full house that hauls our 2020 Harley Tri-Glide. We invite you to travel along with us as we are soaring together. You saw our truck and knew it was us.
Well, I knew you were here.
Right away said, I follow those people.
So we're here this afternoon. Rickey and I were sitting out. We're grilling some burgers, and we had some followers stop by from Canada.
Northern British Columbia, Canada, yes.
All right.
And your names? Audrey.
Brad and Audrey Friesen.
All right. Well, we're glad you stopped by to see us. And so you knew we were here from our videos. You've been following us.
Yep.
But it's always good to meet our followers. In fact, Terry and Les, we met them on the pickleball court.
She looked over
This
me.
is the couple that just had the accident.
Right.
I've seen you. I said, well, maybe. She said, no. YouTube. I said, well, my wife has a YouTube channel, and
She said, we follow you.
not because we had the channel, but they're just great people, and we automatically just become good friends.
Nice.
Yeah, these the whole 3
Well,
weeks.
we don't teach you very much. We just show you what we do, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
We're not
know,
instructional video people.
I do instructional. I do that, but I'm not the guy that sit down. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I told her, I said that wouldn't be a good video.
But you're looking, you said, for.
We're looking around. We're kind of down on an exploration trip down here. We're getting tired of snowy winters. Currently, our little town has about 5 feet of snow in it, and it's beautiful. There's mountains all around us, and it's great. But
It's
you know,
cold.
we've been dealing with cold winters all our lives, and it's time to get out. So you know, we're not looking at going full time, but we're looking at maybe spending 4 or 5 months a year down here, where we don't get snow and ice.
Yeah.
Well, I sort of followed Sweet Travel's build on their toy hauler when they went through the whole thing, and the customization abilities is nice. Now, again, this will be our first ever RV. We've never even had a camper trailer.
Oh, that was us.
So chances are we're going to start a little smaller and
facing the sun.
you know, move up from there. But
I'm facing the sun. I don't know how good it
never
is.
been camping, and we hadn't. I mean, period.
Right.
And then but I mean, we love it, but it's not for everybody. It's well, it's just, you know, like a lot of them here. They like to come and stay 3 or 4 months and then go home for a while, and then, you know, maybe travel some in the summer and then come back in the winter.
How long do you stay in one spot?
We try to a month.
Okay.
But here we're gonna stay forward. We stay from December to April.
We come here. We don't really do a lot while we're here. Last year we got out. You know, went to some different places. The Lexington ship.
We were there 3
Did
years
some
ago.
things last year. This year we're just here to get out of the cold weather.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot of things that we haven't done.
But we've met people. We've got several different friends here, and we go out and do things.
well, that's one of the reasons we're kind of looking at RVs. Like right now, we're in an Airbnb. That works, but you don't get to know your neighbors.
It's
And this
There's
is
no community.
that's what I love about it. I mean, I'm serious. I love to see the things that we've seen.
and you need something
Occupy
like
time.
I've worked all my life too, like most people, and one of my worries is you get down here and sit and twiddle your thumbs. How long am I going to last? I'll go stir crazy doing that.
Well, we've enjoyed here because we have the pickleball court, and we enjoy playing that.
Oh, okay.
It's been different this year. Last year was pretty tough on me because I'd done the same thing, you know.
Well, last year was COVID, and the
Everything
clubhouse was shut up.
everything
Shut down, so you know, they stay in. I was walking 10 miles a day just to
For something to do.
Yeah, to get
But
out.
back to your question, how long do we stay at places? We generally try to do a month because you get monthly rates.
Okay.
Right.
So we'll pick a place and kind of centered to all the places we want to sightsee,
Okay.
and then just ride the trike and
Yeah.
Right.
And
go to
that's what
all
we
those
would do.
places.
Yeah. Yeah, like right now too, well, we took our pickup to Houston because it was, we weren't sure what the weather was going to do. And other than that, the pickup hasn't moved since, almost 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Since we got down
Since
here.
we got down here, we
There's
parked
that.
it, and that's what we do, day trips and run around. And we have
Yeah.
bicycles too, so running around town with bicycles is, get a
So
little
you're going to
extra.
be here how long?
We are leaving Palacios Tuesday morning,
Oh,
and then we're going over. We've got 2 weeks just outside of New Orleans,
Oh, okay.
and then we're back. It'll take us a week to get back home.
Home.
And she keeps saying it's going to depend on what the weather
I am
forecast
going to
is.
Google the weather at home first.
She
and
says if
then
it's
see.
ugly, we're going to stay longer. As long as our health insurance is good down here.
So you're in Canada, so in what relation to the United States?
Do you know where Vancouver is? In
I'm
Canada?
not. My
North
geography,
of
my geography of
Seattle.
Canada's
Yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vancouver's,
So you're
Vancouver's the next
kinda northwest
big
of
city.
here.
Right.
We're 7 hours north of Vancouver,
Okay.
Okay.
but a little bit in. We're, I don't know if you know where Edmonton is, but straight west of Edmonton, Alberta, about 5 hours. We're in a little town up there, town of Valemount, town of 800 people. Cute little town. It's kind of shifted from lumbering to tourism over the years, also, like a lot of small towns have.
Yeah.
And
But
it's
winter's long and cold.
the winter's long and cold. The scenery is fantastic. You can't beat it. Temperature's not so much.
Another couple, 2 rows over, they're from Canada. She's got I've never seen one as small as she's got. It's just a 1-seater.
We saw it. It's a
The Riker.
Yeah, it is
I've
a
ridden
spider.
one.
Just the.
Oh man, if you ever want to have fun.
Is that right?
Holy cow. Okay, this is like a full dresser.
Right.
This is like riding a Goldwing.
Right.
It's smooth, it's real nice. We went to a dealership, had to get some work done on the bike. They were having a Riker demo day. I said, can I ride one? Absolutely. It's the closest thing to floating or flying I have ever felt. Because the thing was set up, it had no windshield.
Right.
The gauge pod is down here when you're riding. The handlebars are down here. You look forward at the highway, you see nothing in front of you. It's like you're floating. And it is the coolest feeling. Until you get beside an 18-wheeler and you look underneath and go, whoa, because you can look right underneath. But no, it is, and the Rikers are not super expensive. This thing, in Canada, this is a $35,000 bike.
Yeah.
The Riker, they have the 660 and the 990. The 990, and they're all fairly stripped down. You can option them up, but just a basic bike probably run you about 12 grand.
Okay.
Canadian. So down here, I don't know, it would be about 9, 10. So, but the difference is this has got a semi-automatic transmission, right? 6-speed. I shift it up, but it shifts down. The Riker is straight on belt drive like a snowmobile. You don't shift a gear, you don't do nothing. You just pull the throttle back.
Throttle.
And they go. Like they're built for one person, but with me, and I'm a pretty good sized guy, that thing took off.
Know somebody where we used to live. It was a couple, and they each had their own Harley. And I asked her one time, do you guys at least talk to each other in your helmet? She said, no, I have to talk to him at home. I am not talking to him when I'm on the bike.
Well, it was our first Harley, and our son brought a set. He's in the Air Force, so he was coming home, and he had a set that he used in California, and he brought it, and we tried it, and Ricky said, we're not getting these, you talk too much.
Yeah, we're not doing this.
Well, I had one fella who drove a Harley tell me that he couldn't use his because he got the bark from the pipes through the mic. So he was constantly getting the amplified bah, 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 as he was going down the highway.
Oh.
So there's no way. Now this thing,
This,
you heard
you
us
can
pull
hardly
in
hear
here,
it.
there's no noise,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
It's a 3-cylinder Rotax on there, it just purrs.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Well, Ricky likes a little noise, that's
Yeah,
the first thing we did was put new pipes on
yeah,
it,
and I probably would too. I do all my own work on everything, but on this bike, this is the thing that I have known the least about and done the least work on since we purchased it. We've owned it now since the spring of 2018, And aside from checking the tire pressure and the torque on the wheel nuts, I don't think I've done anything to it.
Oh, well.
I took it in for one service, had the dealership do the first service, and you know, we've got, I don't know, about 20,000 kilometers on it now, so 12, 13,000 miles. So we ride it a fair bit, but it's just, it's so smooth, it doesn't give me any grief, and it's a fun toy. We went 3 wheels because Audrey's not too keen anymore on riding shotgun on 2 anymore.
No, this is, you don't have to worry about tipping.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, if you know, we both had one, and
He had a road glide and I had a street glide.
Oh, okay.
so.
I rode for about 6 years
Okay.
But
myself.
when we, of course, we lived in the country. But when we started getting in larger cities after we started traveling, it got to be a little more hairy. So, and with her doing her videos, she'd just put her GoPro on the windshield.
Yeah,
but now
perfect.
she sits in the back and
Yeah.
can shoot or take a picture or do whatever she wants to.
Well, I've been bugging her to, you know, get her license, because I said, I'll ride shotgun, you know. I'm
Yeah.
okay on a trike. I don't know
But
if I
then
do
I'm
it.
turning off the mic.
Yeah, she'd be turning off the mic because I'd
Well,
be complaining.
I'm glad. I'm glad for the 6 years that I rode, because if we were somewhere and maybe he couldn't get us back, he's not very many times in his life, but he has had vertigo, you know, where
Oh.
he's so dizzy. And
At least you can drive back.
that hit him just like that. And
Yeah.
yeah, at least I can get us back.
Now, do you need on that bike just a regular motorcycle license, or can you get
Yeah.
a trike license?
Just a regular.
See, Canada, because Can-Am started building all these trikes and they were very popular, quite a few of the provinces in Canada have now got a trike license. Now, it just allows you to drive a trike. You cannot drive a motorcycle legally on it. If you have a motorcycle license, which I do, you can drive a trike, but not vice versa.
Okay.
So, because there's a lot of them out there, and people didn't want to go through the hassle of going on a full bike license, right?
Yeah.
Well, I laughed. I
Well,
call
and
it-
there's no need, and most people take the course. There's no need in taking a course on a 2-wheel bike if you're going to ride a trike.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
what I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they do handle very differently. I mean, the first time we test drove one of these, it's kind of funny. The salesman gave us the keys and said, "When are you going to be back?" And I kind of looked at him and said, "Aren't you going with us?" "No, you can take it out." He said, "As long as you're back an hour, hour and a half, we're good."
Yeah.
Okay, so we took a bit of a road trip. We did city, we did highway, ran down the big highway beside a semi, see what it feels like. But I'll tell you, the first time you hit a sharp turn and you want to lean into it, and it don't lean, it's an eye-opener.
Yeah. Well, he put they call it a lift kit on the back of ours, which helps the steering
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
better.
It steered hard before that. It's better now. They put
There
more
were
weight
what-
on the-
There were, 2 or 3 couples at the heavy-duty truck rally that had the spiders?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting very popular. It's, I don't, you know, I've never ridden a rear, like a conventional trike, if you want to call it that. I've only ever ridden these. Stability is good, and I think it is on those bikes too. The one thing I heard before we bought this, and you know, it was back and forth, I heard of one fellow who flipped his because he'd gone from a motorcycle to a Harley trike, and he cornered it like it was
Yeah.
a motorcycle,
You can't
and
do
his,
that.
No.
his inside rear wheel caught a curb
Yeah.
because
Well,
he forgot it was there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that
You have to remember, you've
well,
got the
especially
fenders
pulling
back
up to a
there.
gas pump. And like I said, I used to call these old man bikes, but the thing about it now, actually where we bought this one at, the guy, he was actually a little shorter than I am. But his girlfriend, he said, I've done dumped mine 3 times with her on there. And
Yeah.
he said she's not real good at riding. So he said, stop all that mess. He got a trike.
Mhm.
And you know, of course, I've never had a problem. People say, well, do you want to put your foot down? I never have, but you know, you roll up to a stoplight, you just sit there, you're not
Yeah.
worried about putting your feet down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and we've got full-on running boards, so you can
Right.
put your foot down if you try.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it's and that's not a biker's bike. It's
But,
like I said, it's a push button to go up, and it will downshift itself. So you pull up to a stoplight, you stop, that thing's in first gear. You take off, you shift it up with a push button, and away you go. You don't have to roll the throttle. You don't have to chop the throttle to shift it.
Right.
It does it all, right?
That's for us to ride and enjoy the wind hitting our face.
Exactly. You know, anybody can ride that with a little common sense and a little bit of knowledge. Anybody can ride that bike. Now, I've been on bikes since I was 10. Personally, I'd probably be on two wheels if it was just me. But the safety factor, I'm getting to a point too that I don't want to fight with trucks on the road on two wheels anymore. That thing's big enough, it's got enough bulk that people see it most of the time, you know? So, and we get a lot of looks because people see that coming down the road, they're not sure what they're seeing. Especially down here, there's not a lot of them down here.
So he said, Ricky, I didn't mean to. He said, I looked down the road and started to pull out, and I looked back, and he said, that was a motorcycle right there. I said, well, the thing that I see is most people look down the road and they look for a large object.
Yes.
And they'll just look through you and really don't mean to. No. I mean, you've driven the truck, but the thing about coming to the HDT rallies, there's all kinds of different bed configurations. People's done different stuff and using them for different stuff, and you know, to me, that's pretty neat to see.
Yes.
Yeah. And seeing and talking to some of those folks, you know.
One of the HDT, I guess somebody who'd been at one of the HDTs, I don't know if it was last year before or whatever, had just gone around and talked to each owner about the bed, which I thought was an awesome idea. You know, just, you know, how they've done it. And some were real simple, like they're from the point of like bolting 6x6s to the frame rails and wood on top,
wood decking,
to getting into the fancy with multi-storage compartments and everything else. So no, it's and that's a lot of that stuff too. It's like, I can do it, I can fabricate. So some of that stuff is, if we go HDT, the first season or two, it might look a little bare. And then as you get, you know, as we get home back into the shop in the summer times, I got a little time to play.
Well,
you know, that's what they recommend if you buy a used truck.
That's what he says. He says,
get to know your truck before you put all that money into it.
You know, before you know, it may be that your truck is not what you want, and then you've got all that money in it that, you know.
I like these. I have since they came out. They're very pretty.
The sport chassis they're beautiful trucks. I think first time we ever saw one was down here in the States somewhere. I don't know where we were.
He would just like for ours to have more horsepower. Now the one that's at the front up there,
Cecil's up there.
The gray one?
Yeah. Okay.
This is a 106. His is a 112. Okay. This one's got a 330 Mercedes in it. His has got the 450 Mercedes in it.
Okay.
So it's a bigger.
So he's got more horsepower than we do.
A little bigger.
Coming tonight?
There's Cecil now. We were just talking about you.
Y'all riding around now. Y'all riding around now. I done toted my
fire pit
and my can down there.
Well, you're not a doctor. You shouldn't be so damn impatient.
This couple is a follower of us on YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
And they're from Canada.
Northern British Columbia,
Yeah. So they saw on YouTube we were here, so they came and looked us up.
Get your chairs?
Yeah, might as well.
Ricky was just...
Chairs ain't no big deal.
Give them here.
We're actually going to the pawn shop and selling them.
Well, nothing out of ours.
No, ours are Walmart's, or they're Sam's specials, I think.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute.
I got something.
He puts the propane tank in the crate.
Oh.
And he couldn't walk it all up there earlier.
Oh, okay. It starting to get expensive now, boy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I couldn't tote it all down there, so I just took the can.
You did such a good job of driving that trailer down that day. A little crate bothers you?
Well, I couldn't hold it all.
You ready to say something?
Yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to let you get back to your lunch.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you so much. It's been great chatting with you.
It was good to meet you.
Hopefully we'll run into you again somewhere.
All right. Well, you all be
Thank you
safe.
so much.
Thank you all.
We did have just a wonderful conversation with Brad and Audrey, and we were so excited that they stopped by to see us. They actually knew that we were in the area, so they came and drove through the park to look us up. And it was just wonderful getting to meet some of our followers, and maybe one day we'll get to meet you. So we hope you like this video, and don't forget, like and subscribe so you won't miss out as Rickey and I are soaring together.